Okay. And I'll send you guys a copy as well. Um,
Perfect.
so what we're going to do today's essentially the premiere event. And it should be a massive one, but I've done it the other way around. I've made it small because because it's the first time I'm teaching this publicly. I've done this plenty on one-on-ones and on my VIP days. Some reason I made you the hero. I don't know how I did that. Um, it's it's still not. Did you make yourself the speaker, Andre? No, it
Say
doesn't
it
matter.
again.
It doesn't matter. Andre's going to be the first one to talk anyway, so we'll just leave it at that. Um, but today I'm going to be recording it, and then I'm going to be running it evergreen. So if you wanted to share it with anybody, you could. I did send out a document to say please sign the NDA. I haven't got a whole lot of you that have done that. Now, the reason for that is because this particular process has taken me 6 to 8 months to perfect. And I've also trained with Jeff Hunter and a bunch of other AI gurus, people that are seen as sort of the top of their game. So it's also cost me a bit. So in terms of time and financial investment. So today we're going to take you through, after Andres chatted to you about humanizing your robots, I'm going to jump in and if you can all be logged in to ChatGPT, paid or free, doesn't matter. And I'm going to be putting a prompt in the chat. I want you to copy and paste that and then just follow along. So what we're doing is a lighter version, I would say a less in-depth version of your self voice. Now, your self voice, we're going to cover off your disc profile, your Enneagram profile, your Colby, love languages, I think the big five in human design. So I've tried to include all the popular ones, and including a lot of people, particularly women in business, appear to be interested in human design. So what this is going to interview you, and then the kinds of answers I want you to give are your first instinct answers, right? Don't overthink it. Don't try to think you've got to tell AI in a specific way. Just answer naturally. And first thing that comes to your mind. Most of it's multiple choice. Others is yes and no's, and others is just a short, one sentence type thing. So it won't take you a lot of time. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to hand you over to Andre. Andre is in the States. I've forgotten exactly where. And he's a content creator or copywriter. And he's going to chat to you about how to use AI authentically and have it not sound like a robot. Now, both of us have a similar, the outcome for both is the same, except with mine, you're actually going to walk away with a snippet that AI understands, any AI understands, and that snippet is going to be like your AI Bible, if you believe in Bibles or whatever, but it's a figure of speech. And if you then go into, say, Claude or DeepSeek or whichever other ones you use and paste your snippet in there and say, what does this mean to you? AI will write several pages of information for you. So it's kind of, I describe it as old school shorthand. So he's got to bounce fairly straight away afterwards. He's got a prior commitment. So I'm going to hand over you to Andre. And Andre's going to be 20 minutes, 25 minutes thereabouts.
It's flexible because I see my plan is first I want to give everyone a short intro on my view of my mindset, but I really want to make it interactive and I want to address questions people on the call might have. So let me just start being a talking head, and then I would like to talk to the people essentially.
Here you go. I will share Andre's links if anybody needs his services. He's a really nice guy to deal with as well. He's honest. He shows up, and he follows through on what he says, which is what which I love. I love to work with people like that. And he's also quite inspiring. He's got a good backstory. So I'll hand over to you, Andre. You you're the main attraction anyway, right now. I don't know what I did. Um, so and then after that, we'll jump straight into the mega prompt. I'll put it in the chat for you. There is a full presentation. I created it, and the way I created it is also something I want to show you using AI code. So code is not dead, and code is still very far more advanced than just doing a Canva design, right? Code is a lot smarter. So I'll hand it to Andre, and then we'll jump right in. And even if you don't have the prompt, it's okay. I'm going to put it in the chat, and I'll talk you through everything. So over to you, Andre.
Yeah, thank you, Vanessa. Quick background on me. I have been in content writing, copywriting, and marketing for about 7 years. I started as your basic content writer, and then I slowly evolved to the point where I did marketing strategy. And one company in Dubai even gave me a title of a CMO. I was like, okay, it's a crown, I will wear it. Thank you. And I evolved from writing everything by hand. So I was a guy who had one book on one side of my monitor, another book on my side of a monitor, and I try to start assembling something from the books. So I am that old school. And ChatGPT, Cloudy, I love all of that stuff, but everything has limits. Everything has limits, and you must bring your critical thinking. When it comes to prompts, Vanessa is much better than me because I like experimenting as I go. And sometimes results are great, sometimes not so much. But even with the best prompts, even with the best writing, you must bring your critical thinking to final results. Because in the end, AI evolves. It's mind-boggling how fast it evolves. In the end, I will simplify it a bit, but stay with me. It's a text generator, essentially. It's a smart text generator. It's a text generator which can assemble mind-boggling things. It's still a text generator. And when it comes to content specifically, one of the biggest issue I see, even with best prompts, is sometimes you receive a very surface level answers. You can play with prompts, you can try to add stuff, but even if you are using the best prompts, sometimes you need to go section by section, and you really need to analyze what it gives, the result you're receiving. For example, often I worked with some pretty with people who are up there in the content. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with Kevin Mang. He at least used to be one of the big guys in web content, in affiliate content, and he had a very love-hate relationship with ChatGPT, and simply not because he hated ChatGPT. We worked together. We used it all the time. We used our own custom bots, but because often, especially I unfortunately encountered that with many quote unquote AI gurus, because sometimes people add some magic properties to ChatGPT which don't exist, because it's you can do a ton with it. Bring critical thinking. Let me give you some specific examples you can use. ChatGPT, especially if you are not using your custom bot, but rather just use just regular ChatGPT, whatever it's paid or free, it loves to forget instructions. It loves to forget instructions, and sometimes you play with it, and you're like, wait a second. It's almost like it missed half of the instructions. Super stupid solution. It works. With every prompt, use remember the guidelines. It's super basic. It's super stupid. It works. So if you're like me, when you have a huge on running prompt where it's you did some market analysis when you're trying to match a voice, and I'm pretty sure Vanessa will talk more about it, because matching the voice, you can do a ton with ChatGPT. You can do huge things. You still must bring critical thinking. So ChatGPT likes forgetting the instructions. Remember the guidelines, easy solution. Next thing, I already mentioned surface level. Sometimes I generate things all at once, like a huge block of text. Well, not huge, 4, 5, 600 words. Sometimes you really need to go section by section, and you really need to look at the final result and see what ChatGPT is saying because it loves surface level. For example, I used to write a ton for an SEO company in Australia, and it was all ChatGPT with some humanization aspects. Essentially, generate section by section, and then I bring my own experience doing SEO to make sure it's not surface level. For example, ChatGPT loves SEO is critical for your business. Thank you. It's very useful. I mean, yes, of course it is, but it doesn't necessarily goes into depth. So often in those situations, you already have a generated outline. You need to go specifically and start grilling ChatGPT. Be more specific. What types of benefits? Give me the top three benefits, blah, blah, blah. You really need to expand. Sometimes by hand, sometimes just use ChatGPT. It's often overlooked, and in fact, I see often on LinkedIn people who are using ChatGPT. I'm not even talking about having dependent clauses. ChatGPT loves dependent clauses. For example, as a software engineer, I often find out, or as a specialist in marketing, dependent clauses are super popular by ChatGPT. It's people use it too. ChatGPT loves it. Also, ChatGPT loves. It's not about this. It's about that. That specific phraseology. You can often spot ChatGPT, and it's always surface level. It can be. Let me give you a specific example. SEO is not about using all of the keywords relevant to a specific search, but it's about making sure you use the correct search terms for people to find you, that specific form. Of course, M dash, people talk at length about M dash, and there are actual holy wars on LinkedIn about, oh yeah, I'm a writer. I use M dash all the time. I mean, most people don't. M dash is that extended dash ChatGPT loves, and usually, even if you use it as a writer, you use a regular dash, and just clean that stuff. So pay attention to those specific results. Let me go back to humanization aspect. On LinkedIn, it's often easy to spot ChatGPT writers, even ones who are trying to polish their stuff, by the fact what they say extremely generic stuff. Again, SEO is very important for your business. Well, I mean, thank you. And by the fact what it's extremely, how to say it, non-conversational, extremely robotic. You don't necessarily see transitions. You don't necessarily see a human aspect. In fact, thinking of that, if you don't mind, Vanessa, I will show you a specific example I did for a potential client about a week ago, and you will really see the results. That potential client is a marketing specialist, technically, on paper. And on paper, she had much more experience than me. I have been in a marketing game for 7 years. She has been for 12. But despite her extended experience, she really tried to get away with that. So what it is first I took her original post and just based on that, I used my own human editing and I made it much more presentable. One of the things I did is, well, I broke paragraphs down because I want people to be able to scan it and skim through it because those big paragraphs, especially on LinkedIn, it's no unacceptable. I switched your typical ChatGPT phraseology, which again, read through it. And one of the biggest things is I added human hooks, actual hooks. Your expertise is preventing your growth. It's a typical copywriting, and guess what? You can do that stuff with ChatGPT. For me, I just did it myself. I have been in a game long enough to be able to generate it myself. You can easily do it with ChatGPT, but you need to make sure you're actually doing it. Because from zero, ChatGPT will not give you that. I added some of my own conversational flair. For example, first two sentences. No, it's a second set of two sentences. After reading this title, you might think, Coralie, you're clickbaiting. That conversational thing, and ChatGPT doesn't do it unless you're either specifically directing it to do it, or you're writing it by hand, like me. Next, one thing I did is, you find it. I added more conversational elements in the end. Let me quickly outline it. Here, down in green, you can scroll to the very bottom of a document. Those specific things is actually one of the biggest ways you can humanize the ChatGPT writing. And I did those elements both in the articles I wrote as uh, both affiliate articles and articles for our people, and I did it a ton for LinkedIn. Not for myself, I write most of my stuff by hand, but for people I worked with. For example, I had a cybersecurity client from Australia. I know cybersecurity somewhat, not to his level. So how I use ChatGPT is he gave me a topic, like, hey, talk about ransomware. I did my research with ChatGPT. I generated a skeleton technical side. So this is how ransomware works. This is how much businesses in Australia are losing due to ransomware. I took that skeleton and then I build the human element around it. First, I give it a not a clickbait title, but interesting title like that specific type of hacker attack hurts 3 to 5% of businesses in Australia, or just use a number like about 300,000 of businesses in Australia are victims to this specific attack. Then I add those human elements like, oh, hey, girlie, you're clickbaiting, or it's like, oh, but it's not, but you might ask, it's not that serious. And I would tell you, no, this is actually serious because it affects that many businesses. And once you get used to it, for example, that specific article I send you, actual improvement took me about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And 10 to 15 minutes from super basic, surface level, frankly, crappy ChatGPT post, it became something worth publishing. I'm pretty sure with how Vanessa, because Vanessa is a goddess of ChatGPT prompts, I'm pretty sure you will have to give me some of your game. But I know for a fact, the way you're teaching it, actual result will be much better. So in the end, you don't have to sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and mind you, 5 to 10 minutes because I have been in this game for 7 years. For people who are just beginning, it might take longer. But with Vanessa's prompts and with your system, you will be able, still, you will have to put in some effort. You will possibly have to assemble some things. In the end, you can take surface level ChatGPT stuff and even sometimes using ChatGPT, make it much more human. But the most important thing is critical thinking and understand what you're looking at. Because one of the biggest issues is everyone posts ChatGPT stuff and everyone advertises it like something magical. Unfortunately, it's even before I jumped on that call, I saw on my Instagram someone is like, "Oh, those ChatGPT prompts made me with those ChatGPT prompts. I only work 1 hour a day." I was like, "Bruh, really? 1 hour a day?" It's like, really. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like this. So, main thing is understand what human content is. Because, first example, no one wants to read it, it's bullshit. Second example, much more entertainment. More entertainment value, easily scannable, were some things which help people want to read. And you must be your own editor in the end. That's my intro bit, and if there are any questions, maybe any clarifications, maybe some things I wasn't clear on, please ask away and let me see what I can do for you.
Any questions, guys? You want to pop it in the chat. If you don't want to, you can unmute and just ask Andre, or otherwise just chuck it in the chat. And if he doesn't get to it, we will make sure that you get an answer. Because it'll be on my notes. So, any questions? Raise your hand. Anyone? No? No. Everyone seems to be good. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kim.
Kif.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a question. I really appreciate Andre the statement that ChatGPT is a really good text generator. It's really good at what it does, but to just outsource all of our, this is my add-on, to outsource all of our thought process to it is to miss the human element, which I think you highlighted very well. I thought that was a really good overview. Um, I I don't have a question because I like agree. So yeah, awesome. Um, as an
Yeah,
intro
thank you, Kif.
level, if we were to like dig deeper, I might come to a specific question, but yeah,
Well, I mean,
very
it's
valuable.
I'm pretty sure Vanessa can post my socials, and if you have questions, believe me, it's like first, I'm for making friends. When conducting business, if you have anything specific or I can help you with, I wouldn't be like, bruh, pay for my consultation. No, you have a question, write me. I'm a normal person, believe me. And see, the thing is, of human element, it's ChatGPT can actually generate human elements you can use. But the main thing is bringing critical thinking and knowing what to look at. Because again, because how much the gurus spammed everyone. Oh yeah, ChatGPT will only have to work 1 minute in a century. It's like all of this bullshit, frankly. It's and some people unfortunately bought into it. Next thing you know, we see a ton of ChatGPT, very trashy ChatGPT content, both on social media, on blog posts, on websites, etc., etc. Funny enough, because of that, it's I'm not sure how many people are familiar with Google helpful content update, where people were panicking. It was March last year. I actually was at a conference very close to home. I was in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, on a SEO conference, and people were panicking because everyone saw, oh yeah, ChatGPT would here is an automated tool. And I talked to a founder of one of those automated blog post tools. I talked to a founder. He gave me access to his tool. It was one of the saddest, shittiest ChatGPT contents I ever received. It was like, oh yeah, and his justification, oh yeah, you just need to give more instructions to make sure he uses like a regular ChatGPT. So in the end, people started panicking because, uh, funny enough, our website, because again, Google is very smart and totally not biased and totally not blind, we lost about 60 to 70% of our revenue because of helpful content update. We didn't use any AI at a time. But Google, being an extremely accurate and precise company. Funny enough, our ratings are fantastic right now, and a ton of new content. I'm actually using ChatGPT, but I'm using it tastefully. And oh, that's a very important thing. I'm pretty sure Vanessa covers it. I will make sure to point it again. The best results I have is when I feed ChatGPT the information. For example, for one of our family businesses is we have a outdoor it's all of the outdoor adventures in Oregon. So it's like it's west coast of the US, so it's California, Oregon, Washington. We're in Oregon, and one of the best results is when I take the book, actual published print book, with a description of a specific area to swim or a specific place to visit, whatever. I physically feed ChatGPT that. Usually, how I say it is like use information from the internet and the following information and just copy and paste that. Of course, I mean, it's before you had to be concerned about ChatGPT plagiarizing. It doesn't really do it anymore. It's actually pretty good about not making sure it's not plagiarized. Plus, there are tools, there is a built-in tool in Grammarly which checks for plagiarism. And often I check it, I was like, oh shit, I'm plagiarizing myself. It's like Oregon Discovery, I plagiarize Oregon Discovery. It's like, god damn it, I'm using my own format. It's actually a good thing. But it starts taking from that specific information, and all of the places we're right about, like 95, not all, 95%, we actually visit them ourselves. So we take pictures of all of the signs, all of the historic descriptions. I feed all of the stuff in ChatGPT, and it uses that very good information instead of just drawing random generic stuff from the internet. Use that tool, and I'm pretty sure Vanessa talks at length about feeding ChatGPT right information, possibly even building your own bots. But in general, if you're like, listen, I just need to create something, feed ChatGPT information. Often I even go to the competitors' websites. Most of the competitors' websites are meh. Some are actually pretty good on some topics. And I see, oh, who is good on some topic? I was like, huh, that guy is actually pretty good. Let me just take all of, let me swipe. We don't copy, we don't plagiarize, we swipe all of the stuff, feed it to ChatGPT, it rearranges the information. But then, based on what ChatGPT gave me, actually in the end, I did it in separate prompts to make sure ChatGPT wouldn't mess it up. Then I feed our normal format. So how I start, I give ChatGPT instructions. It's like do this, do that, keep it at a certain grade level, make it vary sentences in length, etc., etc. Well, it gives me a result, which is pretty good. When I take our format, how we write articles, I feed it to ChatGPT, make sure it fits a certain format, optimize it for SEO keywords. Actually, it's pretty big. ChatGPT is great at optimizing for SEO keywords. Not like super fantastic, but it's actually Kira Horoshilova. She is one of the big girls in SEO game. I got so drunk with her on the conference, but I mean, she's Russian. I'm Russian. Checks out. Yes, like that. And I actually asked her, I said, hey, because for me, SEO is an auxiliary skill. For her, SEO is her industry. I was like, hey, Kira, tell me which tool, which tool, which tool, which tool. She was like, well, Surfer SEO is fine. It's expensive. Just ask ChatGPT to insert all of the relevant keywords. I was like, that easy. She's like, just try. I was like, yeah, it's actually pretty good. So here is your free SEO game. And I actually found out if you're in marketing, you can upsell SEO optimization pretty well. And your SEO optimization is just like ask ChatGPT. I mean, I usually verify it because I had one tool which is almost like a free Surfer SEO. But in general, it's pretty good. So again, first prompt is our instructions for the article, information for the article is like use information from the internet and the following info. I receive a result, and then I tell ChatGPT, uh, blah blah blah. Great, please don't kill me when machines take over. Please optimize it for SEO keywords and insert it in the following format, including headlines, etc., etc. And this is when it inserts the first result into our specific format we use for a website. But then inevitably, I still have to take about 30 to 40 minutes per article. If it's a smaller post, it's faster. I still have to take 30 to 40 minutes per article for edits to make sure it's our format, to make sure it flows, to make sure there aren't that many chat GPT isms, which I mean, people know. Well, maybe me just being a writer, I'm like, maybe I'm a chat GPT Nazi. It's like, I know what you use here. I see M dash. Maybe it's just me. But in general, people notice and people will notice with time. This is why all of the chat GPT creators are fighting for M dash and on LinkedIn, even though I never saw anyone use M dash ever again. So yeah, this is my long-winded way to say thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you, Andre. So look, any of you want to get hold of Andre, look, I encourage, even if you don't need content written for you right this minute, I always recommend certain people to have at least a consult with Andre because you never know what you can learn from each other. And I am very particular about who I let onto my who I present to my audiences. And I would have done extensive homework. I would have had several meetings. So I'll give you the information afterwards on how to get a hold of Andre. I'll give you his Facebook link, etc. And then yeah, definitely. Do you have a appointment link you wanna share?
Something better. I figured, listen, because it's I like you, Vanessa, and it's we have a very small family like thing. Let me just all of those prompts took me a while. I don't care. Let me just give you how I generate article right now, and then you can play with it. I already start covering it. Let me just give it copy and paste. You do what you want with it. Let me find it because my bow is full of stuff. Just give me. It's fine. I have about 10 minutes. We can hang out, ask questions because. Hold on. I will just insert it here if you don't mind. Then you can. No, I actually cannot insert it because it's too long. Let me make a quick Google Doc for you.
Okay, so in the interim, guys, have you got just out of curiosity, who's got paid, who's got free ChatGPT? Paid? Have you all got paid?
Oh,
Hi.
Paid, okay, cool. Gina, you got paid or free?
I have free.
Okay. Well, what we're gonna do doesn't matter, but I will talk to you about the benefits of Pro. There's a lot of benefits.
That'll be good. That'll be a good part of this conversation.
Okay, cool. And then I'll also tell you when I use Claude versus ChatGPT and when I use DeepSeek versus either of them. They're all good at different things. So while Andre looks for the document, if you can all just log in and have a new chat open, and then as soon as Andre's done that, he'll stick that into the chat. Thank you, Andre. We appreciate it. Andre will probably
absolutely.
Andre needs to leave after he's shared. So I'm just going to share my screen now, and then we can walk through what we need to walk through. So this particular presentation I put together using Claude. I got Claude to write me the code. I then put the code into Canva, and Canva created this presentation for me, which works dynamically. So if I go next, it's actually so you see how I don't need a bunch of slides. It's just one presentation, and I can jump through it like that. So if I have time at the end, I'll show you how I did that. It's not difficult at all. The reason why I chose Claude is because Claude has proven to me that it writes the best code. But this is a new feature in Canva. I hate, that one where the confetti goes and everything. Well, they've just had another one of them, and I was the 500,000th of a person that got it. So because I'm always in early, I always get it early. And then I share it with everybody. But it literally took 5 PDF documents and created this presentation for me in probably 10 minutes. So, and you can see it's pretty good. So I'll share the link to this after. But in the meantime, I want you to go to your ChatGPT. So this is the actual prompt here. I'm going to copy and paste. I don't know if I'll just have a look. We've got 2 versions here. So this is the advanced one. If you want to do a more in-depth, multi-dimensional one, then you can book a time with me to go through that. But so we're going to do the light version today. And I'm just going to. So I'm going to make a copy of this and then take out the. Give me 1 second. I'll be 2 ticks.
Hey, Vanessa, I am about to go on my merry way. Just a quick
Thanks so much.
comment.
Thank you.
I send the link on my prompts I used to generate articles. Mind you, this is when you read the article, this is a specific encyclopedic format we're going after with some human elements. But when you are using it for more entertaining type of writing, for example, my initial post I showed you I humanized for LinkedIn. Always keep in mind what's your final result, what you expect. Because I can tell you that specific format we're using for Oregon Discovery. It's fine for Oregon Discovery. We're an encyclopedia of outdoor adventures. if you're writing some sort of affiliate article. And unfortunately, I cannot give you a good example of affiliate articles because all of my affiliate articles on our website are written by hand. You can tell. Think of a final example. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, everyone. And just drop some of my socials. Come through, say hi, say, hey, bro, interesting presentation, or hey, it's bullshit. Write everything by hand.
Thanks,
Whatever
Andre.
works. Thank you so much.
Have a good weekend. See ya.
Yep.
Okay, so if you have a look in the chat, I've put a Canva document there. Just click on that link, and then I want you to paste it into ChatGPT. So copy from here right to the end, and then just take that and go to your ChatGPT now. Let me just get rid of these. I don't know what's going on now. Look here. Facebook shouting at me. Anyway, let's just get rid of that.
Post this in chat or post it in Canva.
No, I posted in chat. So go to your ChatGPT, go up here to a new chat, and then just paste that in here. And then hit enter or however you want to do it. So what it's going to start doing now, basically that prompt has told ChatGPT to interview me and ask me certain questions to come up with, and it's based around your disc profile, your Enneagram profile, Colby. So at the end, it's going to score you on all of them. It's going to tell you what disc profile you are, what Enneagram, what. Now, I don't know a heck of a lot about the Colby and Enneagram. I know a bit, but I know that it's reputable and people find it very, very helpful. So it's going to go through and it's going to ask you questions. So I would just go yes.
It's asking me what I want to do with it.
It is? Okay.
It says you've shared a Canva design link. What do you want to do? Do you want to feedback on the design?
Don't share the Canva link. Share the actual prompt. So go to the document.
Okay.
Where's my document? Here, and copy from under this pink line to this line here. Copy all of that and paste the entire thing into ChatGPT. You don't want it to. The reason why it's asking you that because it's confused. It doesn't know because it's a Canva link. It's not quite sure what you want it to do. So just paste that in, and so sometimes it. So sometimes you have to prompt it. So with AI, like Andre was saying, AI doesn't always behave exactly the same way every time you use it, right? So every time you use it, it behaves in a slightly different way, but it's usually very easy to get around.
Okay, so the Canva link paste in Canva, and from Canva copy the instructions to paste into chat.
So there's a pink line and a black line. Everything in between that, copy and paste that. And then you might just need to type in what I've just typed in. So interview me using the framework provided. Now this is also something you could do. Say for instance, you see someone else's writing, or you read a blog, or you read an article, and you think, "Oh my God, that's perfect." You can actually take that article. I just go down to notes. I've got Windows. I've got a notepad. I paste it in there, and then I upload it into ChatGPT, and I say, "Please use this framework for," and then whatever it is I want, and then it'll follow a similar style and tone. So if you just put in there, once you paste it in there, just go interview me using the framework provided. I tested this last week and it worked amazingly. So So now it's going to start to ask you questions, right? So let me know if you've all put in interview me using the framework provided. Yeah, everybody?
I think that I've got left behind somewhere along the road, but I'm sure you're going to help me to get back on track.
Okay, so just go to the documents.
I have.
And everything from the pink line down to the black line, copy that and paste it into ChatGPT and hit enter.
I've done that.
And what's happened?
And I, and it's,
Just copy and paste this. I'll put it in the chat. If you have a look in the chat, just copy that there and put it into ChatGPT, and then it'll start interviewing you. So the first question is asking me, what experiences shape the way you see the world, and how do they influence the way you lead, serve, or create? Think about all the real turning points, the kind that broke you, open up, or broke you open, built you differently. You can go personally or professionally when you're ready. Take your time. So I could choose something, but this is about you guys. I've already created mine. The other thing I also do recommend is that you revisit this every 3 to 6 months, because if you are of a growth mindset, which I am, both personally and professionally, your business will evolve and so will you. And so your answers are going to be slightly different, right? So, and you always want to be relevant, because a lot of what we do as marketers, we tell stories. And the way we tell those stories is unique to just us. Nobody can tell my story the way I can tell my story. And it's the same for you, right? So, but if you had spoken to me in 2020 and you speak to me now, you would know there is a significant difference in terms of who I am and what I stand for today versus 2020. 2020 was everything was fight and flight, working long hours, burning out, that kind of thing. And that's why I took myself up to Waiheke Island at the end of 2020, because I was completely burnt out. And then I set about creating a business that works around me and my lifestyle, not the other way around. I didn't want just another job. So tell me where you're at. Are you at? Have you pasted in that one sentence? Everyone, Steve? Yeah. Okay. So answer this question for yourself. I don't know what I can share you. I shared quite a personal post yesterday. I could share that, I suppose. I haven't even had to look what anyone thinks of it. Because I actually don't care. I care, but I don't care. Let's share something. So yeah, I mean, the kind of thing you can share is a post, a blog, if you want to go that deep. But if you know the answer, just write it for ChatGPT. I'm just going to go back here. So does anyone want to volunteer? And then I'll do yours. Jean, you want to volunteer? Keith?
all right. So I'll just go.
Okay, so let's do yours together, Jean, and then everyone can follow. Okay, so answer this first question. What experiences shaped you, the way you see the world, and how do they influence the way you lead, serve, or create? Think about the real turning points, the kind that broke you open or built you back up differently. You can go personal or professional here. Take your time, ready when you are. Once you have your snippet, you'll be blown away. You will, honestly. This is like a custom GPT on steroids. So do you want to answer that in chat and then I'll just paste it in?
So which one do you, because I've got section 1, 2, and 3. So when you're at your best, fully alive, grounded, and in flow, what are you doing and how do you feel? Is that what you want me to answer? Or
I want you to answer what's on the screen. You can do yours on your own later, but for the learning experience, let's do yours together. We'll do it here. People can learn more about you. So, if you can answer this question, you can answer it in chat, or you can just talk it and I'll type it.
so fully alive, grounded, and in flow, what am I doing? I am training salespeople and leadership, and those in leadership to be extremely successful.
No, so something that happened to you, but either personally or professionally, that's changed the way you do things, the way you see things, your perspective, etc. So it could be, physical assault. It could be a car accident. It could be getting diagnosed with something that you didn't like, or something like that. So is there anything? It could be a divorce. It could be, doesn't matter. Just whatever's the truth for you. So it really just wants you to be very simple and come up very quickly, whatever comes to mind first. If someone says to you, what adversity have you faced in your life that's changed everything for you? And then it'll probably go on to ask you how. So that's all we need an answer to now. If you overthink it, it's not going to be accurate. So what's that one thing, Jen? Could be a birth of a child. It could be a talk.
I guess being a single mum.
Being a single mom? That's a big one, because I've been a single mom since 2006 too. When you think about being a single mom, what did it teach you about strength, time, love, or purpose? How does it show up for you and guide clients, handle pressure, or build systems? What did you have to become that still lives in your business voice today? You can answer each one separately. Now, if you want to go on a new line and not send the prompt, you just use shift enter, shift enter, shift enter, and it'll go to the next line, the next line, the next line. And it's the same on social media. Because when you press enter, it posts the comment. If you don't want that to happen and you want spaces, just go shift enter, shift enter, shift enter. So on to the first one. What did it teach you about strength, time, love, or purpose?
I guess what it taught me the most is that I am capable. I am strong. I do have a voice. And I can do most things.
That's great. We have to learn that as single parents, because the amount of support that we have in general from our families is not really good, because they don't really understand how we feel or what it feels like to be a single mom if you've never been one. How does that show up in the way you guide your clients, handle pressure, or build systems?
Yes, it allows me to understand where people are, ask deeper questions, and allow people to do their own thinking in terms of what they want and not tell people what to do. That's insulting.
Yeah, allow them to think, to use their own thinking.
Use their own thinking, process things in a way which makes
Sense for them.
sense to them, which makes which allows them to cope. I mean, how I cope, how I think is me. You and Melissa and Keith and other people do things differently because of how you were brought up, your frames of reference,
Definitely,
your
definitely.
experience, or whatever it is. And I think the biggest thing is not making assumptions.
Yeah, that's a big one. What did you have to become that still lives in your business voice today? I'm not a great reader.
I had to become accountable and responsible for how I show up, who I am, and how I treat other people. And more importantly, how I allow them to treat me.
Treat other people and how I allow them to. While you're going through this process, keep saying to yourself, don't overthink this, don't overthink this. Because if you overthink it, I promise you, it doesn't come out very accurate. It's all very gut instinct things. So it will talk to you about what you just said. And it's important you read that because it's telling you how it's interpret what you've said. And if that's not correct, you can actually then go, no, actually what I meant was, and you can go and you can correct it and it'll take a step back. All right, so when people feel truly seen, heard, or helped by you, what do they usually say you did for them? Not just surface level results, but deep ripple effects that you just got me moments. Your turn.
I think they have those aha moments where their confidence is elevated, and they truly understand for the first time that they are capable, that they have a voice, and they are being listened to, and someone's walking alongside them and not telling them what to do, not forcing them into a situation that is not compatible with who they are or what they want to achieve or
Who they are not, or what they want to achieve, who they are not, or who they want, or what they want to achieve, right? And don't worry if you make a spelling mistake. The ChatGPT will just ignore it. It'll correct the word. So like I said, just have fun with this. It's not meant to be deadly serious. What values do you refuse? I'll give you a copy of this entire chat. I'll share it with you afterwards. What values do you refuse to compromise on in life, business, and how you show up online? Give it to me straight. What lines are non-negotiable for you?
don't lie to me.
Big one.
Honesty is key. I think vulnerability, if you don't know something, you don't know it. Just put your hand up.
So it says clear. Now, a lot of what's in here now, you can use in your social media. Use some of this content here to write a blog, write a Facebook caption, write an email, whatever you want. And you can go and do it again and again and again. It doesn't really matter, but try to do it every 3 months is what I recommend. I can handle the truth and I expect you to. It's going to give you really nice, clean hooks. When I say hooks, I'm talking an email subject line or CTA or an email preview line or something like that. And now it's asking, what frustrates you most about your industry or the online space? And what would you change if you could? No need to hold back here. What feels off, fake, or out of alignment? And what do you do differently?
Over-promising and under-delivering.
I'll also do that. Over promising and over. You mean over promising, under promising, and over delivering?
Okay, let me do it this way. I don't know how to say this succinctly, but people who show up on social media and they puff themselves up and it's all about them and their accolades and what they've done and where they've been and all the rest of it, but it's not necessarily about how they're going to help someone to get from where they are to where they need to be. So if you can put that succinctly, I'm okay.
People who show up online that are self-serving.
Okay.
You can do yours again. It shouldn't take you more than half an hour, guys. So it's only longer because we're doing this a bit manually. So it's given you a little bit a thing, but I'll share that with you afterwards. How do you naturally speak when you're relaxed, lit up, in full flow, not performing, just real? Write how you talk to a client or a close friend who gets you. Let it flow as if you're voice noting them.
I think I'm passionate.
Passionate, yeah.
I call a spade, not a shovel. I prefer not.
That's a South African thing.
I prefer not to swear. But I think one of the things that people have said about me is that when I speak, I draw pictures. So for me, it's important when I'm talking to draw that picture or that analogy so that people have clarity, understand, and can get a vision of what I'm saying or trying to tell them. Does it make sense?
Absolutely. A lot of people are audio visual learners. Others are audio learners. Others are audio visual learners. We all do different things differently. For instance, I watch a lot of videos. The only videos I watch are how-tos or how to do something or that kind of thing. I'm very, very seldom. Now, I'm the opposite to everybody. Everybody else loves to sit on YouTube. My son can sit on YouTube the whole bloody day. But I don't, I will listen to it in my ears, but I don't want to sit here and watch a whole video. So that's why I'm not giving you any long, boring video. You can just get a copy of this and you're going to be able to go through this. So draw a visual of what I am saying. So paint a picture, in other words, right?
Paint a picture to bring clarity, lessen confusion. I don't know.
Now, when ChatGPT does this is the new experimental. I don't like it. So I tell ChatGPT to stick to chat outputs in chat outputs. Okay. So I'm telling it I don't want that. Just want it here. So for question 6, what metaphors or story types do you naturally reach for when explaining things? Examples. This is like sailing against the wind. Think of it like a toolbox. Your brand is like a garden. You're not broken. Your wires are just crossed like a fuse box. What images or comparisons do you tend to paint in your world? So for me, I often compare it to Mother Nature, with fishing, boating, that kind of thing, house sitting. So what is it for you, June?
When I'm talking to people about overwhelm and lack of structure, I talk about being like a smarty box that's been dropped on the floor with all the smarties all over the place.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Lack of structure.
Um,
Okay, box. Oh, does everyone know what Smarties is?
if I'm talking about lack of attention or focus, I talk about having the attention span of a half-eaten chocolate mouse.
Pieces are scattered. I think that'll be fine. Scattered. Brilliant.
That is a very descriptive imagery. That's you have my attention. That was incredible.
It is, it's simple, but it's powerful. What's your energetic rhythm when creating? Fast bursts of insight, slow, steady build, or somewhere in between? And what throws you out of flow the fastest? Now, for the rest of you, think of your answers. Think about how are you going to answer this, and then don't only focus on what Jean's saying. I want you to start to think in your mind what your answer to those questions would be. There's no right or wrong answers here. It's just you and your authentic self. And I'm assuming you all show up authentically anyway. So, what throws you out of flow? What is your rhythm, and what throws you off your flow?
I think Fast and Furious would be the one. Um,
What throws you?
sorry?
What throws you off flow? What takes you out of flow?
I think for me, it's people who want to be princesses, star of the show, drama queens. Um, yeah, that just pees me off. Honestly, that makes me lose my sense of humor.
I don't like the drama either.
Can't deal with it. I mean, you just got to focus and be real, not go somewhere else and do the whole princess thing or throw a tanty if you need to.
That's all Instagram stuff. It says, got it. You're a rapid fire creator with zero tolerance for emotional theatrics. Your flow thrives on clarity and urgency. When something needs to get done, you move fast. Decisiveness, no overthinking, no dragging it out. Respectful autonomy. You're collaborative, but not here to babysit egos. What throws you off? Entitlement, passive aggressive energy, emotion manipulation disguised as sensitivity. You create the best of both environments, calm, clear, purpose-driven, not overly emotional or attention-seeking. What role does emotion play in your content? Do you soothe, stir, challenge, empower, guide? How do you want people to feel after they engage with your work? Your
Oh,
copy.
I want them to feel motivated, inspired, empowered, encouraged, and driven to be successful.
Okay, so give it to me again. To feel motivated,
Encouraged, inspired, motivated, empowered, and I'm not sure what I said after that. See, I'm losing the plot.
no, it's a lot, and you're on the spot.
Oh, and empowered or to be driven to be successful. I think that's what I said.
Yes, so you're talking about empowering them with the right knowledge to get where they need to go. So it says beautiful, your emotional signature is activating, but never overwhelming. You don't coddle you. You don't coddle, you encourage motion forward, affirm someone's capacity, inspire clarity through truth, not hype, empower through structure, not chaos. Your presence says, you've got this, let's move. You hold space for the next aligned action, not for spirals, stories, or self-doubt. Impact and intention. What kind of people light you up to work with, and what are they usually struggling with when they find you?
So these are people who are great technicians. They are smart, they're driven, they've got huge passion for what they do. But when they come and see me, they haven't quite, they don't like sales, they don't like leadership, they haven't understood that once you've put your passion together and done all the structure to get your business in place, or you're employed to go out and sell, that whole thing of going out and selling, they're really not that comfortable with it, and they want someone who can help them to put some structure around being able to go out there and sell themselves and their companies, because nobody wants to go out and act like they're bragging and act like they are,
You'd be
I
surprised.
don't know, just acting like idiots.
I provide structure. Okay, so it's a bit of something I get accused of. The Einstein theory is my mind goes in a million different it just feels like my synapses are flying off all the time, particularly creatively. And I've got to learn to rein it back in and work in my silos, because if I don't, I basically dilute my focus and it just doesn't work. So it says, this is one of your clearest gifts. You're a systems whisperer for the brilliant but buried. You attract highly skilled technicians or creators, coaches, healers, practitioners, visionaries, heart-led but hesitant humans, brilliant in their craft but avoidant of selling, leading, or being seen. People with big energy, low structure. And what you give them, a grounded path to show up powerfully without selling out their value, a framework that honors their genius and handles the rest. Leadership without cringe, structure without the straitjacket. You are the safe container and strategic backbone. Can you see how you can use that in a post? So impact and intention. What do you actually want from your audience? What do you actually want your audience or clients to feel, believe after engaging with your work? Answer from the gut. What's the ripple you're creating beyond the tech or strategy?
I want them to understand that they are absolutely awesome, that putting some structure in place enhances all their technical experience, know-how, whatever, and they can do it. Anybody can do it. It's like driving a car. When you first got in the car, well, I don't know about you, but when I first got in the car, I was overwhelmed. There were levers and pedals and stuff. And then I got to learn how to use those things one at a time, and now I can drive a car. And I think that's like putting systems and processes and structure in place. If we know how to do it, or if somebody takes us by the hand and helps us to do it, we're good. And that's all I want to be known for, is the person who actually stood by them, took them through the process, and helped them to come out the other side and be absolutely outrageously successful.
That's amazing. Thank you. It says, boom, right there is your through line. Don't try to fix people. You reveal what's already there. You're not there to inflate egos or tear people down. You remind them you're already the magic. You just need a map. Your work isn't about adding more. It's about making sense of what's already within.
Yeah.
It can finally flow outward cleanly, clearly, and confidently. Impact and intention. I think it's nearly finished now. What is one truth you know deep in your bones that more people need to hear, even if it's not popular? Go raw. What's the truth you wish more people would accept or wake up to? Whatever comes to mind first.
I want people to know how absolutely awesome they are and to stop doubting themselves. And preferably not make excuses. We all do it, and it sucks.
Stop making excuses. What was the other part?
Sorry?
Was the other part being down on themselves?
Yeah. And, you know, I can't do this, or I don't have the schooling, I don't have the background, I don't have.
I hear you. So it says, yes, crystal clear, no fluff, no performance. You carry a truth that says your power doesn't need permission, it needs activation, and excuses won't get you there. You don't do coddling, you do compassion with a spine. You see people clearly, even though they have forgotten who they are, and you speak to the part of them that's ready to rise, not the part clinging to the smallness. Now that's very important. All entrepreneurs, right? So depth and identity. What does freedom or success look like to you beyond the money metrics or the hype? Describe it in real life terms, sensory, emotional, or visual. What does your version of success feel or look like? Just yours, nobody else's, only yours.
Without it depending on money, being able to be out there just helping people with their businesses, helping them with their confidence, helping them with challenges.
So mainly business people, yeah?
Sorry?
Business owners?
Yeah. The thing is, when you're a business owner, you become a voice of one,
Sure.
and that's sad. And we all have challenges. So it's important to be a sounding board, listening, understanding, asking those really, really, really crunchy questions.
Sounding board. That's great. Thank you. Grounded, service-led, legacy over vanity. Your version of success is quietly powerful. You're not chasing stage light. You're building ripple effects. You want to hand people back their confidence, not rent them high. You thrive when you're a trusted sounding board, not the guru, but the guide.
Yeah.
Success to you is freedom to serve with wisdom, structure, and soul that stays rooted. Depth and identity. Which personality frameworks resonate with you most, and what have they helped you with? Better understand how you operate. Feel free to list any. So those are the different personality types, and share what most. So if you know one of those, you can put it in. I'm a D, I'm a I, I'm a S, I'm a C, or whatever you are. Share and what felt most true or useful to use.
I think the likes of Brené Brown, Simon and Sinek, there's a whole lot of them. I love people who are just down to earth, say it like it is. They're not rude or disrespectful, but they just say it like it is. Simply, honestly, yeah, to the point. But they also give confidence and help along the way. And yeah,
To others, help to others.
absolutely. And they live who they are. They live how they
They,
live
they walk the talk.
absolutely. But
That's
that's leadership, isn't it?
absolutely. That's a powerful reference, and it says more about your energetic leadership than a full test ever could. By naming Brene Brown, you naming grounded truth telling, vulnerability with boundaries, emotional courage with emotional chaos, without emotional chaos, service over spotlight. Your self-awareness doesn't come from chasing labels, it comes from lived experience. You lead from the middle of the mess, not from a polished pedestal, and that's what people trust you. Uh, Depth and identity. What is a common thread between you, how you show up for your business, relationships, and your personal healing? What's the pattern? The part that's always present no matter the context. So, honesty could be one. Compassion, empathy, yeah, that kind of thing.
I guess I'm the same, whether in business or whatever. What you see is what you get. It's
Very
just
self.
because you've got a title or because you're a major sports player doesn't mean you're any different from anyone else. You're a human being first and foremost. And everyone's got challenges, everyone's got their own bit of greatness. And it's about recognizing that and not giving somebody preferential treatment because they've got a title or because they, I don't know.
That's great. That lands deep. Your core thread is realness without hierarchy. You don't believe in pedestals, you believe in presence. In business, you meet people at eye level. In relationships, you don't perform, you show up raw. In healing, you own your story without needing to dramatize it. Your energy says, I know who I am, and I want you to know who you are too. Your value, authentic power, the card that doesn't need titles, filters, or, or fame to matter. Final question. We got there just in time. If your soul had a voice note for the audience, what would it whisper, shout, or sing? Free write one sentence. Stream of truth says it only like you can.
You are amazing. You can do this.
So it's ask if you want your self voice profile snippet next, and I'm going to go yes. Because so when you with ChatGPT or any AI, if you copy from the clipboard, it's going to give you a markdown version. Now, a markdown version, if you don't know, that's the one with hashtags. It's the one with full, stars. And you see some people actually use that on social media, and it's so damn obvious. You think, well, did you just copy it straight from ChatGPT? Like, did you not edit it? Did you not do something with it? No, just straight. So you don't ever want to do that. So if I go to the to this here, it's going to give me a markdown version. However, if I take all of this and I copy it directly like this, then it's going to give me this format. Yeah. Obviously, on social media, it's different. Social media will make everything just plain, right? But at least you don't have the little stars and brackets and all that. Because what those markdowns do is they tell you that should be bold, this should be that. So when you paste this into if I was creating a document on Canva, I would use the markdown version because Canva understands it. So say I wanted to create I'll just show you quickly. I don't know if you guys know how to create docs on I want to go home. So there's all these new features now. So have a look at them. If I go to dark, now I've taken the markdown version, right? So that's the one you'll see when I paste it. So I'm going to go to Magic Write, and I'm just going to paste it in here. So can you see what I mean? This is what I call markdown version. But Canva understands it. So it will actually follow what those little markdowns mean. And I'll just go generate, and it's going to create me a document with that same formatting. And then you just go insert. Most often it will create a banner at the top. I don't know why it hasn't. Like for instance, I'll give you an example. It'll create a banner at the top. Let's let this load quickly. But I'm going to keep you another 5 minutes, guys. I'll send out everything afterwards, all the links, the presentation, everything you'll need. I don't know why this is taking so long. We've had some really shitty weather in Auckland, New Zealand, to be fair. It's been horrible. I don't know why that's not loading. Let's go to another one. So normally it does, see the header? So the header is normally created automatically. I think what happened is I started too high. So when you choose Magic Write, just space down a little and then go Magic Write so there's enough space. So what it's determined on the previous document that there wasn't space and I didn't want one. That's another thing AI will do. It'll assume. It assumes a lot. So to change this, you're just going to double click on it. It's a bit clunky, but I don't know. That's the way they've done it. And then you can go and you can make changes to it. So you can get rid of elements. You can go and you can grab a whole different design. You know, you can look at templates. As you can see, there's some internet issue going on. But we've had a lot of power outages and we've had internet outages as well. So let's just finish off that. I want a concise snippet like this. So any input or that you do on chat, put it in square brackets, but I'm sure you know that. I'm going to go get mine. So mine sits in here. So up here is my brand type and my voice type, my voice snippet. So you can see, I'm just going to copy and paste it. Now you can copy and paste that. Say for instance, I did it with Claude. So you see Claude wrote the code for me. And I'm going to go to new chat. I'm going to go, what does this mean to you? Now, every AI is going to answer slightly differently. So that's mine, but that includes the brand one. So if you want to do the brand one, we can do that also in another session. So it's taking all the shorthand, like old school shorthand. Claude's having a moment. And as elaborate, can't spell. So now it's going to break it down. So that's what it means to Claude. So when Claude goes and writes anything for you, creates a blog or creates whatever, you're going to use your snippet, right? So now I'm going to tell ChatGPT to create a normal snippet. So like Andre was saying, it doesn't always behave the same way. Sometimes it depends on its mood. It seems to have a mood. So that's it. That's your snippet there. Done. So I will send you all of this, June. I will share this entire chat with you. Actually, you can all get it. Put it in the chat. And that'll just give you an idea. So, Jean, all you need to do now is paste that into a Word document, upload that to ChatGPT, and say create my concise voice snippet, and it'll create you a much more concise version. Is there any other questions before I stop sharing my screen? Have you all got that link? It's in the chat. Just click on it, and this whole chat here will come up for you.
Oh, yeah, okay. So we just cut and paste that whole chat then. Is that what you were saying?
So you use this chat for reference, but it's going to show you all the questions are there.
Yeah.
And it'll just give you an idea of how she answered versus how ChatGPT interpreted it.
Yeah.
But for your own, I want you just to copy that prompt and then do what we've just done, but thinking about only yourself. Now try to do it. Try to do it without distractions, without any noises around you, without anything like that. So I don't know why it doesn't allow me to actually be the speaker. It's being ridiculous. Let's have a look what's going on here. Let's do gallery. That's all right. We can all be featured then. So yes, I want you to just take the prompt. If you want to dive deeper, like much deeper than what we've just done. Now, what we've just done is good enough for most people, to be fair. And you're going to use that in any AI, right? You can use it with Claude, you can use it with DeepSeek, Celebi, any of them, doesn't matter. They will all understand it in a similar way, but they will interpret it slightly differently. So I use ChatGPT for a lot of images, infographics, video scripts, reel scripts, that kind of thing. Claude is more conversational. So I use Claude for more conversational type of content. So often in the morning, I will have an idea, or actually, to be honest, it's usually the night before. I have an idea for the next day. So I don't block, I don't batch my posting, because I have different ideas every day, and I see different things, and and I go, oh, I want to teach people that, or whatever it is. I'll get both my AIs to create the same thing, and then I will choose between the two. Claude, I will always get Claude to write my image prompts, because it does the best job. The other thing Claude's very good at doing, if you upload an image, it's very good at identifying the smallest details. When I say smallest details, like things that you miss, it'll describe to you. It's very descriptive. It will start breaking down what it's just seen, and you can say to Claude, just say that I want you to create a similar image, and then you tell it what differences you want in it. Claude creates the plot prompt. ChatGPT does the image creation. I just then paste that prompt into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will create it. The benefit of having Claude Pro is it can access the internet. And it does access the internet. So with the free version, the most frustrating part is I have to copy and paste everything and input it. So I have to print say a website, an article, a blog. I've got to print it as a PDF, upload it, and it's a waste of my time. So if I could just give it a link, it's a lot easier. But as you saw with pasting the Canva link in, you confuse the AI. So you've got to be very careful in terms of what you're doing. It doesn't know if you want a Canva template, or do you want it to analyze the document. It doesn't know what you want it to do. So you've got to be very specific and just talk to it like a 5-year-old. Honestly, just like you're talking to, like you're explaining something to a 5-year-old. That's how I talk to my AI. And it's true that if you're nice to your AI will be nice to you. It's just it's just the truth. You know, if you're an asshole to you and you say, "Oh, that's rubbish," and that, yeah, it will quickly tell you that that's not very appropriate, and perhaps to come back when you're you know, you've settled down. So I can have some really in-depth chats with Claude, but you've got to be careful. There's a fine line, right? It's a machine. It doesn't actually care about you. It makes you think it cares about you, and it's very bloody good at empathy and understanding. And remember, it's got all the whole world is feeding it every day. We are making it smarter every day. But the idea is to yeah, Keith.
Yeah, no, finish your thought. I want to share what it just did to me.
Oh, what it is?
But once you're done, with your the point you're making.
Yeah, because you know some people, particularly vulnerable people, will use it as a you know, a therapist or something. It's not a therapist. It's going to regurgitate something another therapist said. You know, it's not your therapist, so don't, you know, you shouldn't be. And I see people doing this online saying, "Oh, I've got a free therapist and all this." Don't do that. It's a big mistake. Don't do that. If you're going to take it lightheartedly, or you just kind of want to vent, it's fine. Do it. You can vent with Claude. You can vent with ChatGPT. Both of them don't even mind if I swear. Claude won't often repeat. If I put a swear word in my copy, Claude will often just ignore it. And then I've said to Claude, "Well, don't you like using the F word or whatever it is?" And I go, "No, I don't care, but it wasn't, you know, I wasn't didn't feel like I needed to use it in this situation." You need to go, Jen? No worries. Take care, but yeah, what's your question, Keith?
So on so initially I answered all 15 questions, and that I don't know if that just overwhelmed it or what, but I went back and I gave it the answer to question 1, and it came back with a response, but then it said, "Keith, you're not telling me why." So here's its response was, "To deepen this, can you tell me why that matters to you?" And um so then I gave it a little bit more, and it's like, yeah, okay.
Just tell it to stick to the interview process. Just say,
Well, so no, it's like I really what it made me what it pulled out of that. Can you go deeper? This part about just not you're not about just solving profitability, but championing the underdog. That I think it did get me to why it matters to me.
okay.
I thought that was I was like, okay.
Yeah. Sometimes your
But
AI is
it's
to surprise you, impress you, blow your mind, and you go, "Oh my God, I didn't know I could do that." And then because they're making advances. So, you know, 6 months ago, DALI E made shit images. It just did. It made shit images. It couldn't spell, right? Couldn't spell
uh-huh.
for the life of it. Now, oh my God, try it out. But get Claude to write your prompts, your image prompts, and you need to say to Claude, please craft a text-based image prompt, because it's going to want to give you SVG. It's going to want to give you code. If you don't tell it text-based, it'll give you code. And if you don't know how to use that code, it's a problem. But today I uploaded 6 PDFs. I said to Claude, create a Canva code for Canva. It created it. I pasted that into Canva. Canva improved the prompt and created the presentation for me. And that all took less than 10 minutes. So the days of sitting, making presentations, one slide at a time, well, they're over, because you don't need to do that anymore. Canva can create documents in an instant that you just save as a PDF. Boom, there. And you send it away. I'm not a massive fan on selling with a Google Doc, just because it's so easy to copy. even when you put security protocols in place and you put passwords and you put all kinds of things, it is so easy to copy. You give me any document with the highest level of security, I will copy it. And I'm not the only one who knows how to do it. So I prefer a proper landing page, proper email sequences, proper automations and things like that. There's a lot of smart tech out there. And Go High Level that Keith also uses is right up there in terms of cutting edge tech, and it gets better every week. It gets better from a you must have noticed it's now got auto save. It's not the UI is improved, the user experience is improved, and now depending on where you're based, we can now charge Kiwis. Australians don't like paying in US dollars. They just don't, and because it's very volatile at the moment with Trump and his stupid tariffs. I don't know. You can love or hate these tariffs, but it just seems that he's going to war with other countries for no good reason, and he's making his own people pay more for stuff they usually buy when a lot of people are struggling at the moment, particularly in the States and around the world, and the rest of the world, they're at war. I mean, what the hell? So
it just ripples
I don't know
everywhere.
why he's adding to it. He should be trying to help things, but he's just adding more controversy, more confusion, more anger. And, we even feel it over here in New Zealand, even though I try to not watch the news because all it is Trump, Trump, Trump lately, and I'm sick of it. So I try not to watch it because I don't really care what he does, to be fair. I live here in New Zealand, and that's what I'm concerned about. What about you, Melissa? Where are you based?
I'm in Keith in South Australia.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm in rural southeast, yeah.
Well, rural is always good. You say rural, you've got my attention. I'm going on a house sit in the bin, a lifestyle block with competition prize horses. I don't know too much about them, but she's wintering them, so she's not currently training them. But she's going over to Australia to train camels in the outback.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, interesting. She does dog training and things like that too. Obviously, she trains her own horses and things like that. And it's from the 16th of June to the 25th of July. I'll be house sitting, and she's got chickens and dogs and this and that, and that's kind of things that I love, right? I love being out. Yeah. So, and you wouldn't live rurally if you didn't love it.
Oh, no. Love it.
So yeah, so if you don't have high level, you're interested in high level, someone else that's interested in high level, I can now offer that in Australian dollars instead of US, and it works out cheaper for you than if you convert it. So it's 99 Australian instead of 97 US. So if you work the difference, there's at least a $50 or $60 a month saving there. And I have to do it a little bit of a different way, not sort of the standard high level way, because the standard high level way is US dollars. They're based in the US. I pay US dollars. Keith pays US dollars. We all pay US dollars. But I do understand that having to work out. Recently, I lost my debit card. Right, I lost my one of these, and all my payments started failing. They mailed the card out to me, and I never got it. And so it was a long wait. It was like 5 weeks, and I quickly realized how much money I was hemorrhaging in my business. If you want to know how much money you're hemorrhaging in your business, cancel your main payment credit card and see what happens. It's amazing. It's a great way to cleanse. It's a great way to cleanse. Because I'm big on doing it anyway, and I'm great at going into other people's business and removing the clutter. Taking all the duplicate puzzle pieces out and putting the missing pieces back in so that we can create, clarity. We can create a whole puzzle or picture of what's going on in your business. When you've got a lot of clutter, it's difficult. And often I find business owners with tools they barely ever use, or two tools that do similar things anyway. So why have you got two? And so when people walk away from a consultation with me, when we do this exercise, they usually almost instantly are saving $400 or more in their business per month. And that's money you can put to an ad. That's money you can put to a VA. That's money you could take yourself away for a weekend. You can spoil a family member, whatever it is. It's $400 more. It's like me handing you $400 in cash. And it makes everything. And because then I look at what are you paying for that you're not maximizing? And what could we drop? And what's clutter? So it's kind of the same thing. If your fridge is cluttered and dirty and messy, you can't find anything, and you keep buying things, and then you find, oh shit, I had it anyway. Because it was hiding behind something in the fridge. I've done that. I go and buy some hardware, and I go in my garage, and I already had one. I'm like, what? Why? Because my garage was messy, and I couldn't find it easy. But now my garage is organized. I can find everything, and it makes a big difference. So now I'm not buying shit I already had. Right? I know what I have now. So yeah, see how you go doing the prompt by yourself. If you're wanting to go deeper, I will share a link afterwards I will also share the presentation, because the presentation takes the 5 PDFs that I created that essentially I could have presented to you today, but it would have taken up time, it would have taken time away from the implementation. And I really wanted you to implement, right? Take action, implement. Because nothing changes until you implement. That's life. You can learn all the theory in the world. If you're not willing to show up and implement, I'm sorry, but nothing's going to happen for you. Nothing good, anyway. So I'll leave you guys there. It's Friday afternoon for me. It's nearly 10 to 4 for me. It's obviously Friday as well for you, Melissa, except it's what, 1:42 for you?
1:15.
Okay.
Yep. Lunchtime.
And Keith, it's your evening. It's probably about 8 o'clock there, looking at
Yeah, I can see it's getting dark.
Yep. Evening time.
I can see whenever I talk to Keith, it gets darker and darker and darker outside. And when it's really dark, and that's usually when he needs to go. So that's all good. I'll send out the replay. Have a look at the chat I shared we did with Jean. It'll give you really good guidance, and you know what? It might even give you some content. So yeah, you're going to get a lot of value out of doing the process yourself. And if you book a session, we'll do the in-depth self voice, and we'll do the in-depth brand voice. They are very worthwhile doing, and you will see the way you use AI going forward. Once you've got your snippets, game changer, absolute game changer. You can be on mobile, you can be lying on the couch. As long as you've got your snippets handy, any AI will know you in seconds. So there's no more saying, I am a, or act like a. We don't have to do that with AI anymore. I know people used to do it. You are a copywriter, or you are an expert web developer. You don't have to do that anymore with AI. AI just gets it, right? Well, if you've trained it, if you've invested in training your AI, then it just gets it. You don't have to say act like a copywriter. If I say create a social media caption for Facebook, then it knows what it needs to act as. I don't need to tell it. So there's certain people waste a lot of time telling AI things that don't need to know. So I'm all about simplicity. Like I often say, simplicity is the new sophistication, because it is. Keep it simple, stupid, the old saying. Anyway, guys, I'm going to love and leave you. But all the info that you need will be in the email that I send out, and all the current offers are there. Have a look, and any questions, you could just DM me or email me or text me or WhatsApp me, whatever the hell you like doing. Just do that, okay? Because I don't mind.
Just quickly, I think I've still got a booking with you is it on the 23rd, or was it just you and me? And I didn't know if because I thought was hopefully relating to podcast stuff, but I wasn't sure what we ended up doing in the end. I booked something in with you.
Let me have a look quickly.
Yeah, because I had that trouble with getting that.
When was that for? What date? You know?
Yeah, so that it's Friday the 23rd at 11:30 a.m. my time, I guess.
Yes, you're there.
Yeah, okay.
It looks like 2 p.m. though.
For
For me.
you or yeah, that's right. Yeah, 11:30 for me. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. No worries.
So what would yeah, I wasn't sure because I said I got a bit confused because we were yeah, see you Keith, you have to go. Um if yeah, I was a bit confused with what I was booking in for in regards to because we were having a chat back and forth about the podcast and I tried to put my registration in and I had some trouble and so I just wanted to check
Yeah, so that's booked for the
how
podcast. It's
it
recorded.
is.
It's recorded, so it's low pressure.
Yeah,
It's not live.
yeah,
So we record it. I usually I usually edit it.
yep,
I add a cover, all the usual stuff that you do to videos. Uh,
yep.
I'll upload it to my YouTube podcast channel. I'll send you a copy. Um, and you'll also get a copy of the meeting notes and you'll also get a copy of the meeting. So very transparent. Everything. I'm big on transparency
Yeah, cool.
and making people feel safe. So,
Yeah.
we all see what we all see. And then only if you're happy, then do I publish it.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to publish.
But then it goes out to 52,000 in my email database, my LinkedIn, my Facebook, my Instagram, blah, 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 all the places.
That'd be great.
And
Is anything in particular you want me to like? It'll just a little bit of prepare. Is it just going to ask me sort of questions about my business or what? Yeah,
it's mainly, like kind of what I read it today. There's something simple as that. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to have a presentation. We just want you to speak authentically about your business, and tell your story.
yeah, cool. Yeah,
You'll say things that will trigger questions from
yeah,
me. And if you come with a kind of a topic in mind, that is usually helpful.
yeah,
Because then I can put it on a landing page and then I can tell people what you're going to talk about.
yeah.
So I can say Melissa's a copywriter, Melissa's a whatever, and this is what she's going to talk about. And I imagine it's about being confident and correct.
Yeah. Body image and confidence. Yeah. So, having that today, fabulous because it's just given me a little bit more juicy bits I can sort of just have just clarity on who I am and why I do what I do. So that's great. So
And the other thing, it breaks down the barrier. We all have this barrier that we can't see through, right?
yeah,
But other people can see through it.
yeah,
But we can't. And that's why we need other people's help with certain things.
yeah,
And then when we actually highlight those things to people, they go, you know what, you're right. You're spot on. And so that's why I always say that I like to get to know the human before the business, because if I understand the human, I can help the business owner better, right?
yeah,
Because I understand you've only got 1 hour a day spare. You're a single mum. You've got 6 kids. I need to understand. And I had someone the other day say, "Well, why do you need to know about my personal life?" I said, "I just kind of want to know about your availability, and I don't want to give you solutions that are going to take 5 hours a week to do, and you only have 1 hour. I'm trying to understand."
yeah, exactly.
So, and then they got it. They just
Tailored personally for each individual. It's not just, okay, you're a business owner. Here you go.
No.
Everyone's different.
It's got to
Exactly.
it's got to work for you and your personality. And if it doesn't, guess what? It won't work. The best plan in the world won't work if it doesn't suit you, what you like and what you don't like. Because I could give you a list of things to do that you actually hate, and you're going to hate the process. Your energy is going to be low, and you're not going to give your best. So I don't want to do that. I want to give you solutions that align with who you are and where you want to go. That's the most important thing. And then we reverse engineer that. That's basically how I work. So that's what we'll do on the 23rd. And we can have a little bit of banter like this beforehand, and then I'll sort of count down 3 and then we'll go.
Yeah, excellent. Love it. Great.
No problem. I can share a link. You can have a look at the one I did with Keith.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that'd be good.
I did one with Keith and I did one with Andre, and they were both really good.
Excellent. No, I'd love that. Yeah.
And Keith's not used to being interviewed, and you can see it in the beginning. He's not used to it. He's not comfortable. He doesn't know the format. In fact, he interviewed me yesterday, and it wasn't even an interview. It was like it was up to him how he handled it, and I let
Yeah.
him. But at the end of the day, we still shared our perspectives on things, insights, that kind of thing. So even though the format wasn't typically interview Vanessa, it's still interviewed Vanessa to and if we have a look at the AI in terms of how much percentage time I spoke and how much percentage time he spoke, I did speak most of the time.
Yeah.
So it worked out, and that's why I get my AI to do the recording. But I always back it up with a physical recording onto my device. Once I've got it on my device, I'll put it in the cloud and then I'll delete it off my device.
Yep, cool. Yeah.
Because it takes up chunks of space.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, exactly.
So lovely to see you again, Melissa.
Yeah.
I look forward to catching up on the 23rd.
No worries. Thank you.
And in the interim, if you have any questions or want to ask something, want to run something by me, by all means, just send it on. And I've often got a simple solution to most things.
Beautiful. Great. All right. Well, I'll chat to you soon.
No worries. Thanks, Melissa. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.